And like Tom just said, don't forget to spring forward. The clocks shift at 2 a.m. overnight. At that moment, the clocks will change to 3 a.m. Most of our computers and phones change automatically. So daylight saving time isn't as much of a chore as it used to be. But just in case, check all of your clocks so you do not get up late in the morning if you have any plans or if you have to work like me. Donald Trump says he decided to postpone his Chicago rally after meeting with law enforcement because he, quote, didn't want to see people hurt or worse. The decision sparked protests in and outside of the rally site. The packed audience of both Trump supporters and opponents began yelling at one another, throwing punches and tearing signs. Trump spoke with MSNBC saying America is angry and divided and said many of the protesters were, quote, extremely dangerous.
We have a country that's so divided that maybe even you don't understand. I've never seen anything like it, and this has been going on for years. And on one side, you have people that haven't had a pay increase in 10 years, frankly, and the businesses are moving out of the country, and they're upset and they're angry. And on the other side, you have people that feel differently about other elements, and it all comes together, and you see it all over. You see it here, you see it in lots of different locations, and there's a lot of anger in the country, and it's very sad to see, actually.
After postponing his rally in Chicago, Trump has postponed yet another rally, this one in rival John Kasich's state of Ohio. The rally was supposed to be tomorrow in Cincinnati, but the Secret Service security supporting his campaign couldn't prepare in time for the event. According to his website, he's still scheduled to appear in Dayton and Cleveland today and in Bloomington, Illinois tomorrow. A spokesman for the Trump campaign says the candidate is still going to try and find another location for the Cincinnati rally for either tomorrow or Monday. Both the Illinois and Ohio primaries are on Tuesday. In other news this morning, a legislative committee has narrowly approved a bill that would ensure people living in publicly subsidized apartments can keep guns in their homes. The bill came about after Harvey Lembo of Rockland shot an intruder in his apartment and was then told he violated his lease by having a gun. The bill now goes to full legislature. The Secretary of State's office is facing yet another lawsuit, this time over its decision to not allow a question on whether to bring a casino to York County on this year's ballot. The Secretary of State's office ruled that thousands of petition signatures were invalid. According to the Portland Press-Herald, the lawsuit argues the Secretary of State's signature review process is inconsistent and arbitrary. This is the second lawsuit over the petition process that the Secretary of State's office is facing right now. The campaign to regulate marijuana like alcohol is also fighting the rejection of thousands of signatures to get marijuana legalization on the ballot. Congressman Bruce Poliquin is pushing for more support for elderly Mainers. Poliquin spoke with members of the AARP yesterday, hearing stories about how Medicare, Medicaid, and Social Security cutbacks have created problems for themselves and their families. He stressed how important the issues are in his personal life with his own aging mother. Poliquin says he plans to stand up to try and help these families.
We have an aging population here in Maine, and in particular in our 2nd district. It is so important that we make sure that we provide all the assistance and the support from Washington and from Augusta for our seniors.
My sister-in-law, my grandmothers, my aunts, my mother, my father, it all affected them because when I had to quit work personally to take care of my family, I am hurting on my Social Security.
Poliquin is also working with Senator Collins on a number of issues affecting seniors, from health care to scams. And this weekend is the Professional Bull Riders Blue Death. It's the first time the tour is stopping in Bangor. Yesterday, we caught up with one of these riders, Bo Willis. Willis has been riding since high school and says he has never looked back. The key to this high-intensity sport is to impress the judges through different rounds. The sport can be dangerous at times, but for Willis, it's about giving your all, no matter what the risk.
If it wasn't for bull riding, I'd probably still be sitting in Bowen, North Queensland, Australia. It's an adrenaline rush that, I don't get from anything else,
The riders take off tonight starting at 7 p.m. at the Cross Insurance Arena in Bangor. And another event you can look forward to, Portland's Sidewalk Art Festival. We still have a few months to go, but the dates have been announced. It'll happen on Saturday, August 27th. The festival runs from 9 in the morning to 4 in the afternoon, rain or shine, and artists will be set up from Congress Square to Monument Square. Now for a 60-second check at some other headlines this morning. Authorities in Brazil say at least 16 people have died in mudslides and flooding resulting from heavy rain in São Paulo state. Aerial footage showed entire neighborhoods and roads underwater. Firefighters rescued a newborn baby from a flooded home, but 3 people drowned when they were swept away in floodwaters. 9 more died when mudslides destroyed their homes. And British media is accusing President Obama of launching an unprecedented attack on Prime Minister David Cameron. In the Atlantic Monthly interview, Obama blamed Cameron and other allies for how they dealt with Libya after its former Prime Minister, Muammar Gaddafi, was ousted in 2011. The Times newspaper called the president's criticism extraordinary. Clashes erupted in Istanbul between police and demonstrators on the 2nd anniversary of the death of a teenager who died from injuries sustained during nationwide anti-government demonstrations back in 2013. During yesterday's clashes, demonstrators hurled fireworks at police who retaliated with tear gas. The violence came as a reaction to the death of 15-year-old Birkin Elvan, who was hit by a tear gas canister during the 2013 Gezi attacks. He died following 9 months in a coma. At the time of his death, sparked anti-government demonstrations clashed between protesters and rioting of police in several cities across Turkey.
The ECB stirs up world markets with its latest moves, and Apple is set for its latest product event. All that during the week that was. So while the Federal Reserve is trying to figure out how and when to raise interest rates, the European Central Bank cut its rates and unveiled a new stimulus plan. That as it tries to spur economic activity in the European region. Airline fees are becoming a topic of controversy on Capitol Hill. Democratic Senators Richard Blumenthal and Ed Markey have introduced a bill that would prohibit airlines from charging fees that they think are unreasonable or disproportionate to what those senators think those services should cost. Critics say that's a move towards regulating the airlines and re-regulating them and introducing price controls. The industry is also the scene of a boardroom battle. 2 activist firms are nominating 6 directors for election to the board of United Continental, and they want former Continental Airlines CEO Gordon Bethune to be chairman. They say they're getting greatly disappointed with United's performance. Amazon is also taking to the air. It's leasing as many as 20 Boeing 767 jets. That's so they can ship merchandise around the United States. The online retail giant wants to reduce reliance on outside shippers like UPS and FedEx. And mark your calendars. The next Apple product event has been set for March 21st. The company is expected to unveil a new version of its iPad plus a smaller version of the current iPhone model. I'm Michelle Caruso Cabrera. Get all your business news on CNBC.
It's 6:41 at News Center, and meteorologist Tom Johnston will have your full forecast as soon as we come back.